to the Choice, Change and Action podcast, where you get to choose, change and take action to create a different today and a different future. These are my stories of choice, change and action, along with the phenomenal guests I have on here. From a really young age, I've always desired to create a change in the world. The planet has been a constant inspiration to me, and Access Consciousness has shown me the tools to know that anything is possible. And I keep choosing. What are you going to choose? Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Choice, Change and Action podcast. So you have me, your host, Simone Melisses, and we have a very, very special guest today. And the very, very special guest is pretty much my best friend. This very, very special guest has been with me my whole entire life. And wow, have we been through some times. Who is the special guest? The special guest is my body. Do you like that? So I bet you were wondering, who the hell has she got on there? Well, I've got my body, and it's me and my body. And I wanted to talk about my body and about your body, and just to explore the different possibilities that we have, and maybe give a little bit of a history. Now, I do have a program coming up. It's like a 3-month membership with me. It's called Hello Bodies. Are you enjoying your body? And you can find it on simonemelisses.com/hello bodies, and we'll have it, in the subscription notes, etc. But I wanted to just sort of start off with asking you some questions and asking your body some questions. So first off, it's like, how many of you have been choosing to live your entire life in conflict with your body? What do I mean by that? Do you actually listen to your body? Because your body is giving you information all the time. I mean, even as an example, are you one of those people who wake up at like 2-3 o'clock in the morning and then you're like, oh my God, I can't sleep. And so you go to what's wrong about something. You go to, the wrongness of it. You go to, oh, now I'm going to be tired, blah, 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 which is all about conclusion. It's all about judgment. It's all about trying to get it right. Nothing is about being in question. So as a simple tool, what if when you woke up at that 2-3 o'clock in the morning and you can't sleep, just lie there for a moment and put your hands in your body somewhere and ask, okay, so body, what are you aware of right now? Because just because you are sleeping where you are, the country that you're in, like at the moment, I am in Peregian Beach, my home in Queensland, Australia, it doesn't mean I am not aware of the world. You are so aware, and your body is so aware, and your body is giving you information continuously. So quite often if I wake up, early in the morning, late at night, etc., I'll just put my hands on my body somewhere and just tap into my body and ask a question. So body, what are you aware of? What can we contribute around the world? Where is my energy required right now? And a lot of the times I would just sort of like give my energy to somewhere in the world. So usually what I find is, what pings me is something that is in the other side of the world. Oh yeah, guess what? They're awake at that time. So it's just like contributing my energy. Okay, so right now, even, right now on 3. Okay, so when I say on 3, what I want you to do is you can put your hands up, but it's just like this energy this generative energy that we can give to the world. So all the generative energy that you have available and the space of being that you have available, will you contribute that to everything happening in Israel? On 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Ask to empower everybody with more awareness. For me, that is what Access Consciousness is about. I have been using Access Consciousness tools for over 20 years, and it is about empowering you to know what you know. You are the one that knows. Okay? You know what is correct for you. You know what is correct for your body. You know what will make you happier. You know what is joyful. You know what makes you feel lighter in your world. And can I give you an example that when you get cranky and angry and you have that frustration, ask, what's the lie here? Because you will pick up on the lies. And when you pick up on the lies, you tend to get a little angry. So you might hear that somebody says something and you're like, hang on a second, it makes you a bit angry. It could be a family event, it could be friends, it could be, at work, it could be religion, anything. What I ask is a great tool. What are the truths here and what are the lies here? It's not about judgment. It's not about judging any, religion, any society, any family member, any friend or colleague. It's about you having more awareness for you and your body. Because what tends to happen is we perceive the lies. We actually know when someone is lying or when something is lying. So ask, first of all, number one, what are the truths here and what are the lies here? Okay, so everything that doesn't allow you to perceive the truths and the lies in everything, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine, shorts, boys, provids, and beyond. And that is the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement, as you know, and you can find out more about it at theclearingstatement.com, where myself and Dr. Dane talk about it. So that's the first thing. Ask for the truths and the lies to show up. Now, again, it's not about judgment. It's so that you have more clarity. You have more clarity and more ease for you. What if you lived your life by not having to be validated from anybody else? Because you get to acknowledge you and you get to acknowledge your body. And like I said, your body is always giving you information. Your body doesn't judge you. Most of the time, you're the one judging it. How many of you have spent your entire life judging your body? How many of you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is you start to judge your body? Stop it. 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 Does it ever get you anywhere by you judging your body? Does it ever create anything greater? Ever? Now, my guess is the answer is no. So what the fuck are you doing it for? Okay. Do you want a life that is small or would you like a life that is bigger? Would you like a life that every single day you wake up and you're like, wow, how did I get so lucky? How did I get to be with this amazing, beautiful body and living the life I'm living and being in question and asking what else is possible now? That's the reality you can choose. What if you start being this alternate reality that has so much space in it that it's filled with possibilities? Now, let me give you an example of that. So we spoke about waking up and judging your body. Okay, I want you to indulge just for a moment that you wake up tomorrow and you start doing the usual judgments. Most of the time you have something that is, a judgeable offense. Like for me, I used to judge the size and shape of my body continuously, no matter what. It was just like, that's what I sat in, the size and the shape of my body. And I finally realized after many, many, many years, that doesn't actually contribute anything greater. And all it did was it would increase what I was judging. So, for example, if you're judging that you have a fat ass, right? Judging it doesn't make it smaller. Judging it makes it bigger. Okay. So I was judging the size and shape of my body. And some of you may be able to relate to this. It's like I've always been pretty happy with me, like me as a being, but I judged my body so much, and it was such a, I'm going to say like a pain for me. It was so annoying for me. My body slowed me down. For me, I was like, if I didn't have to have a body, I could have so much more ease. I could have more fun. I could do things faster, blah, blah, blah. So there's nothing about that is including my body and me together. And I spent, I'm not kidding, the majority of my life choosing that reality. When I finally looked at this and I went, wow, Simone, this is like hitting your head against a brick wall. It's not creating anything different. What if you just let all of that go? And I really worked on myself on judgment. And every single time I found myself judging my body, I would stop. Okay, if I wasn't judging my body and I'd ask my body a question, what would you like to be like? What would you like to look like? What would work for you? And, every single sort of exercise or movement I ever did, it was always had this inclination behind it of, will this help me lose weight? will this do this? Will this, blah, blah, blah. But it was more from trying to look for an answer and going to a conclusion and getting the result that I thought that I had to get. And I remember Gary Douglas saying to me one day, who's the founder of Access Consciousness, and he said, what if your body wants to be the fattest body on the planet? And I was like, oh my God, that would be devastating, you know? And I went, wow, I'm not allowing my body to choose. That's the piece of information I gained from that. Like my body might like being, I don't know, a size 16. I didn't ask it. I just judged it. So I realized I have to stop judging and I have to be okay with whatever my body is asking for. Now, I really, really, really worked on this. Okay. I really worked on this. Like every single time I would be adamant about it. And, you know, I would do things like we have a tool with the 5 elements of intimacy. And I would, every day, I would ask myself questions of where I wasn't willing to be vulnerable with my body, honoring of my body, trusting of my body, in allowance of my body, and grateful for my body. And I would destroy and uncreate everything that is, times a godzillion, right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD all 9, shorts, boys, POVIDs and beyonds. Clothing. It's like I would like buy some clothing because it fit. And I wasn't asking my body, would you like to wear this? You know, or I would buy a piece of clothing because it hid part of my body rather than going, hey, body, would you like to show this off? You know, anything. I was not being in communion with my body. I was being in conflict with my body and in a constant state of judgment. Now, I am not saying I'm 100% out of judgment of my body, not at all. What I noticed was when I really worked on this and made the demand to stop judging my body started changing, which was really interesting. I started not, okay, so let's take food, for example. There was like this energy of when I would eat, that I would eat like I didn't know where my next meal was coming from, or I had to eat it. I had to finish it. Wine. It's like, you know, I would drink wine or, you know, alcohol and be like, I have to finish this drink. I have to do this. It was sort of like almost like just a really quick way to destroy rather than being in question. And what I started to look at is with food and alcohol, because that's something that you're, you know, ingesting, digesting. And I was like, okay, is my body asking for this? Is my body done? And I noticed that, you know, I'd pour a glass of wine, I'd have 3 sips out of it and they tasted amazing. Then the 4th sip wouldn't. Same wine, but didn't taste good. So I learned to go, oh, my body actually doesn't desire anything more. But as I started pock and potting the judgment, right? Previously, I wouldn't have been able to put that glass of wine down. I would have had to be, because I was choosing conflict. So I would have had to have been in conflict with my body and finished that wine or finished that plate of food, like literally fighting against my body. So how many of you are fighting against your body and everything that is times a godzillion where you destroy and uncreate it? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD all 9, shorts, boys, POVIDs and beyonds. So somehow, somewhere, making that demand of myself that I will no longer judge my body and be in conflict with it and asking it a billion questions, running processes, doing all of this and just being really present, that flipped and changed. And there was nothing enjoyable about being in conflict with my body. So continuing to drink that glass of wine really tasted like shit. And there was nothing enjoyable about it. So I would put these, you know, the wine back in the fridge, or I would, you know, pour it down the sink, food. And it's like, I would just throw it out, you know, and I definitely grew up with the clean plate club. I remember my mother used to say, you have to eat everything on your plate because there's starving kids in the world. For us in Australia, we got starving kids in India. And I had this conversation once with people in India and they were like, oh, we got told China. It's like, so what did the Chinese get told? You know, so all the lies that you have bought into as a kid, that you must eat everything on your plate because there's starving kids in the world. Will you please destroy and uncreate it and start being in question of what your body would like? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD all 9, shorts, boys, POVIDs and beyonds. So I noticed as I started eliminating the judgment, I started being able to hear my body, like really hear it, as in, we're done. Or, you know, instead of Like I quite often like eating meat, and I like a really good steak. So, but I would go, oh, steak, and I have to have all of this other stuff with it, vegetables, sauce, whatever. And I started hearing my body go, we can just have steak, a really good steak with some salt on it. And so quite often I would just have dinner with a piece of steak and salt on it. Or how many of you have been brought up with that breakfast, lunch, and dinner? And there's so many different points of view about what you should eat and what you shouldn't eat, etc. What is your body asking for? Yesterday, I literally had all afternoon and dinner. I ate a packet of. We have these amazing candies, lollies in Australia, and they're called chocolate bullets. So it's licorice, milk, licorice covered in milk chocolate. That's what I had for dinner. My body loved it. Awesome. Enjoyed it. Didn't judge it. Okay. Eat when your body is asking you to eat, and stop eating when your body is asking you to stop eating. And do it for you, and do it for you and your body. But here's the thing, you really have to make that demand that you stop being in conflict with your body. That's step number one. Step number one. We look outside of ourselves as a reference point for what we should be choosing. This is you and your body. This is not anybody else's body. Who knows your body like you? No one. No one. And have you allowed yourself to know your body, to truly know your body? How does your body like to move? Like, we've spoken about food and drink, etc. What is your body like? What sort of furniture does your body like to sit in? What sort of clothing does your body like to wear? Sex. That's a whole other thing too. It's like, do you actually listen to your body with sex? Or do you buy into what everybody else is saying of what it should be? When next time you're having sex with someone, it's like, look, are you trying to create a reality based on their point of view? Or are you listening to your body? What gives your body joy? For me, one of the things my body really likes as well is water. Any form of water. Like if I'm feeling funky, get in the bath, have a shower, dive in the ocean. Seriously, any form of water is, my body just goes, oh, God, that feels good. And here's another tool. Your body feels, okay? It feels. Like if your body feels hot, it can feel cold. You can make it feel anxious, etc. You as a being, as an infinite being, you sense. So have a look at the difference of that, okay? If you're in communion with your body, you have you and your body feels, and you sense. And stop trying to lock everything into your body. Like you literally, if you get frantic and you get anxious or you get nervous, like all these things that, by the way, are not yours. A great tool for that is, who does this belong to? If any of that stuff is showing up, ask, who does this belong to? And if it's not yours, it lightens up. But the other day I had some stuff going on, and I could literally like feel my organs like starting, it was almost like starting to clench, like fists starting to clench. So I went and lay down in my house in a really comfortable spot, and I just put my hands on my body, and I started just like chatting to my organs. Yeah, my organs. It's like, my intestine, small intestine, large intestine, my spleen, my liver, my kidneys, my heart, lungs, everything. And asked to instill space. And I just tapped into every molecule of my body. So you can do that right now. Tap into every single molecule of your body. Yeah, that's it. And ask to instill space. And ask, what space can you be with your body? What space can you instill in all of your organs? And what if in that space there is a level of gratitude for every organ? Because so often we look at the outside of our bodies rather than the insides that are just, blood's pumping away, the heart's pumping away, lungs, in and out, all of that and more. Take a moment, a big breath. What gratitude could you have for your body today that you've been refusing to choose based on you've been making conflict more real in your body than anything else? And everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it. right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine, shorts, boys, provids, and beyonds. Allow the space. Okay. If you are listening to this podcast and you are busy to do, what can I create? Oh, I've got to get money, got to do this, kids, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, that. If that's going on, stop. Just stop. I don't care where you are. I don't care if you're in the middle of a city, you're at work. If you're at work, go to the bathroom, sit on the toilet and take a moment for you. If you are lucky enough to be somewhere that you can, walk outside and be in your backyard. My backyard is amazing. I was in my backyard yesterday, just saying hello to all of my plants. And I'm like, oh my goodness, you guys are amazing. The grass, like walk on the grass with no shoes. Perceive the earth and pull it up through every single molecule in your body. Pull the energy, the generative energy of the earth up into your body. Now, did you notice? The earth is not judging your body. The earth desires to be in communion with your body. What if you started to choose to be in communion with your body? Different reality. It's an alternate reality. So everywhere that you are not allowing yourself to be in an alternate reality of space with your body, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine, shorts, boys, provids, and beyonds. Relaxation should be what we're choosing with our bodies at all time. I don't care what you're doing. If you're giving a speech in front of thousands of people, if you're running for president of the United States of America, go Kennedy, by the way. If whatever it is you're doing, if you're dealing with kids, your family, everything, be that sense of relaxation with your body and stop and just take a moment with your body and ask, what space can we be with this, with this situation, whatever it is, it's work, home, etc. And the other thing before we finish off this podcast is the movement. I'd like you to start asking, I invite you to start asking, what movement is it that your body desires? Okay, what movement is it? Because your body actually likes to move, but it doesn't totally like to, quote unquote, exercise, and there's different things that your body is interested in. Earlier this week, I like martial arts and I like boxing. I have an amazing trainer and we do great boxing sessions. And for once, when I came back from overseas, I was like, hey, I don't think my fitness has decreased. I think it's, increased or it's been the same, because I was running a lot. I was doing these high intensity workouts with friends of mine in Mexico. I was riding my horse every day. So my body was moving every day with doing things that it actually enjoys. And by the way, choosing when not to do it. There was definitely mornings in Costa Rica. We had this little WhatsApp group and I would ping people and go, hey, I'm just going to lie in bed and drink coffee and listen to the birds. That's it. And then most days, though, I wanted to get up and go for a run or move my body. You've got to be in question. Okay. This is not a routine. This is about being in question. So this week I had a great boxing session. It was amazing. Yesterday I had Pilates and I just rang my teacher and I said, hey, I can't come today. My body was just not desiring to go today. So, I still paid her for the session because for her, she's running a business. I'm not going to cancel on her and not expect to pay. But I'm also not going to go just because I paid. Okay. How many of you still eat because you paid for it? You still go to something because you paid for it. Guess what you're choosing with that? You're allowing money to control your choices rather than you and your body to be in communion and choose with what is going to create a greater possibility for you today. Different realities, ladies and gentlemen. So ask your body, what movement would you like? And try something different. Like if you're doing the same thing, try something different. What pings you? And try that, even if it's for 5 minutes. Give something different a go. Ask your body, what is it? Show me, body, what is it you would like to be choosing in movement? Show me, body, what it is you would like to be eating, drinking. If you'd like to be eating and drinking, some days your body just is like, no thanks, no thanks. And then another day your body's like, can we eat again? Follow the energy, okay? Don't be in conflict, follow the energy. So Thank you so much for being here with myself and my body today. Don't forget, you can follow us on YouTube as well. Every single episode is on YouTube, including this one with me and my body. And subscribe to the notes. If you subscribe to the notes, then you'll get, all of these different processes and anything that I refer to, you'll get a link to that, etc. Please, if you like us on YouTube, I would be so grateful. It allows us to reach a further audience. The more that you like us on, YouTube, on Instagram, etc. We've got our own Choice, Change and Action Instagram. Follow me on Instagram, etc. And share it. Like, can we please create a greater world by our choices? And if this puts a smile on your dial, then please share it. And I also invite you to join us for the 3 months on Hello Bodies. So there's lots of fun things. Like I said, we're actually doing a call with me roughly every 2 weeks. We've got some hot seats, which is private sessions. There's going to be 5 available. We're doing a Symphony of Possibility, like SOP sessions monthly. So 3 times on this. You get to join like a private chat thread with me also. There's a few more things that we have up our sleeves, but we get to spend 3 months together, and it starts early December. So my 7th of December, 6th of December in the US, etc. So please check it out. The links will be below, SimoneMilasas.com/Hello Bodies. And thank you for being here today. Thank you for being with your body today. And right now, destroy and uncreate everywhere that you are in judgment of your body, and start to create a different reality, an alternate reality. Everything that is times a godzillion, right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine, shorts, boys, perverts, and beyonds. Thanks for being you. You are way more brilliant than you think you are. If you enjoyed this podcast, please make sure to hit the follow or subscribe button on your favorite listening platform to get notified of new episodes. We read all the reviews, so if there's any topic you would like to hear about, let us know. If you'd like to know more about the tools, information, and classes mentioned in the podcast, head on over to SimoneMilasas.com and follow me on Instagram @SimoneMilasas, or the podcast has its very own link on Instagram @Choice, Change and Action. Don't forget, you can download the show notes. And lastly, have way too much fun today.